Last year, Harvard University prohibited single-gender clubs on campus. Then last month, 6 sororities and fraternities filed a pair of sex discrimination lawsuits alleging the school used threats and intimidation against students and violated their rights. How have students in this region reacted? Here's what fraternity and sorority leaders at the University of Massachusetts Amherst had to say.
You know, I think a lot of students have been really thinking about their personal fraternity and sorority experience and how much it has done for them. And they really have felt bad for the students over at Harvard that have to deal with potentially not having these types of organizations as part of their college experience.
Christian, what have you heard?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of chatter has been going on both at UMass and across the country within our own fraternities and for our 2 boards, the Interfraternity Council and Panhellenic Council, which oversee our members' chapters on campus.
And so you're kind of shepherding all of the various sororities and fraternities through these 2 entities,
so
right?
So social fraternities and social sororities, we kind of oversee and manage those operations. So there's been a lot of chatter on our end about, you know, if this type of thing ever happened on our campus, what would our actions be, and then also how can we support our member chapters at Harvard as well. So we're just kind of trying to figure out all of those moving pieces.
To that point, have you heard anything from UMass leadership that they're interested in rolling out sanctions that are similar to what Harvard has done?
Yeah, so we have a really great relationship with our administration and Greek Life office at UMass. We're fortunate to have some members of Greek Life in administration currently, and we have never gotten any of those feelings or inklings that may happen to us. But we have really good relationships that we've built so far, you know, in our past year in this position, and we haven't really seen any types of incidents coming up.
Have students been coming to you and saying, we're concerned? Like, what happens if UMass leadership decides to do something similar?
Students have definitely come to me with concerns, having heard the news, understanding what's going on over at Harvard, but I think that we've really been able to reassure them that as boards, we have really built amazing relationships with our campus administration this year and in the past, and that should anything happen, we would feel comfortable speaking to them. And, you know, we just feel like we've built very strong relations and they see the value of what our organizations bring.
And you said, you know, what the organizations have done for students' value. Let's talk about that. What are some of the benefits that, as you perceive them, for being in either sorority or fraternity?
I think just being part of an all-women's organization for me has given me the most amazing platform to become empowered, to be the leader that I hope to be one day. I've received a lot of support from both my sorority as well as the Panhellenic Council, but also from our national organizations. They've given me some amazing opportunities that have helped me develop my skills, my public speaking, and really anything that can help me in the future.
How about for you, Christian?
Yeah, so I mean, a positive of being in a fraternity and sorority as well is the ability to network, build your connections, leadership opportunities, and really to share your values and experiences during your time in your undergrad 4 years. And that's what these members join the organization for. And Harvard has a little different setup than we do at UMass.
In what way?
So Harvard, when they initially, probably about 20 years ago, not to be exact, but around 20 years ago, they separated from the university in regards to sponsored organizations. We at UMass are sponsored registered student organizations, so we get a lot more support from our university. If we get funding, we get guidance, we get advisors, things like that. So we have that kind of leg up on them anyways that Harvard has not seen over the past few years.
I think there's so much talk in 2018 about gender parity and working together and not segregating oneself. So I hear what you're saying about having the support of separate gender groups, but I can hear critics saying, why go to the effort of segregating yourselves?
So a big piece that's come up in the Harvard incident is the talk around sexual assault and these male aggressions within single-sex organizations. And something that we've talked about on a board is how to tackle those issues, which are prevalent on many college campuses across the country.
What's one example of something you may have come up with as a way to address it?
Exactly. So we have, within our new members, which are our members who have just joined, so their first semester, they're a new member, we have implemented what's called a New Member Academy. which involves the police department, the fire department, Men and Masculinity Center, women and or the Women's Center on campus, and we've been trying to incorporate these training modules, guest speakers on how to be solid and good citizens within our community, to try to tackle those issues at the root rather than just punish these students in other ways, as Harvard is doing, in leadership ways in sports clubs or fellowship opportunities, scholarships. We're trying to get to these issues at the root level, and that's what we want to see happen at Harvard as well, rather than just kind of cover this up and punish students across the board.
Yep. And sometimes Harvard has rolled out different sanctions, whether that's not giving students support if they want a Rhodes Scholarship recommendation or other things. But people who are critical of sororities and fraternities look at them, I think, as just these organizations where all you do is drink and party all day. What would you say to someone who holds that opinion?
I would say that sororities and fraternities really develop students to be incredible leaders one day in their future. I think that we take part in a lot of philanthropy opportunities, a lot of community service, and we're really there to build each other up. And I just think that those are the things that people do not really see about Greek life, which is really sad, and we need to do a better job at telling our story and showing that we are strong students that really do care about our academics, we care about the well-being of one another, and we care about the community.
Why do you think it is that fraternities and sororities have gotten this bad rap?
Yeah, so I mean, something that I've thought a lot about is this mentality of when students come to college, they are, there's an expectation to experiment, there's an expectation to try new things, and kind of break out of your own shell from high school and those previous experiences. So I think that at that, when you come to college, there's those types of experiences that happen, and there's definitely the social aspect within fraternities, but we just get kind of a bad rap because we're wrapped under this larger organization that other students on campus don't really have. So something that we've tried to work hard on is trying to come up with processes to streamline the way that we register our social events and risk management policies and all these types of things that go into that, to try to make sure that our students in the fraternity and sorority system have the safest experiences possible, and try and as Maxine said, try and give that other narrative to the positives that the fraternity and sorority system bring to our larger community, betterment of our members, and all the things that kind of go into that.
I know that some of the chapters that are involved in the lawsuit at Harvard right now, you have chapters represented here at UMass. Do you know if there's discussion among those chapters about what's happening?
So I know there's a lot of emailing going on within our chapters. There's been never direct communication. We've had several conference calls with our national organizations as well as our national governing bodies for Interfraternity Council and National Panhellenic Council on kind of the status of the system and what happens if this type of sanction comes down on us at UMass. But they've been extremely supportive and given us a lot of guidance. So we feel really comfortable where we're at right now.